There we go. Hi. There we go. Hi there. So my name is Jamie from Building Profit Sales Training. I'm joined today by Darren from Motion to Profit. I wanted to bring Darren on and just introduce Darren, because Darren is an expert in the world of video and creating visual services, products for your businesses. And Darren's an expert, so I wanted to bring him in. You know, part of the sales strategy has to be around video these days and how that looks and perceives, and it also helps with distance selling. So Darren, do you want to introduce yourself, mate? Take it away.
Yeah. An expert. I love that. Yeah. So yeah, my name is Darren Ockenden, and I'm the owner of Motion to Profit. We are a video production agency. We basically create professional video content for corporate clients. And as you well know, Jamie, during lockdown, when we couldn't get out and start videoing people, we went into the world of podcasting. So we now, strangely for our name of Motion to Profit, also offer podcasting marketing.
Yeah. Brilliant. And that's going well as the video side, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So I think with the podcasting, mate, it depends very much on what industry you're in. So, you know, for a lot of your clients and stuff, podcasting probably wouldn't work. But for people like, you know, coaches, where you're selling yourself and your skills and your expertise, that's where podcasting for us has gone crazy. And we've got clients who are sort of in the top couple of percent of Spotify downloads and stuff like that. So in the coaching world, and it's doing really well for their business. So yeah, in the right business with the right niche, it's definitely worth doing, and we won't stop doing it. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. So let's jump into it, mate. So from your perspective, video and customer types, what is the ideal business, or who do you currently work with? What's the favorite industries to work in?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we necessarily have a favorite industry, and I think video is such a wide, you know, it's 2023 and people are lazy. So video is a great way to engage people. It's an easy way to engage people. It's it's a great way of showcasing anything to do a business, whether that be, selling, whether you're selling like yourself, you know, like sales, mentoring, whether you're selling, I don't know, products, anything. Video is just a great way to showcase what you do. Our clients vary. So we work with software companies where we do a lot of we're going to be doing a lot of animated videos, but we do a lot of work with software companies. We work with coaches. We work with dog groomers. We've worked with food vans. We literally work across the board. Wow. But like I said, video is needed, you know, and I know I'm going to say this, but video is needed in every industry.
Wow, that's awesome, isn't it? And that's a real mix, isn't it? Like dog groomers, food, the IT sector.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. And, you know, in the IT sector, we're going to be making some great, hopefully soon, animated sort of explainer videos. So, you know, for their software platform, how you use it, it's all going to be animated, and that's a great way for them to sort of push out to their current customers and to add more value to them. In the dog grooming field, we're really showcasing the skills that person has and the great work they do with the dogs. Food, mate, I like my food. It's very visual, you know. You've got the food van we worked for, Picasso's they're called. They do like smoked meat. If I wrote that down on a post on social media, you know, Picasso's, we do smoked meat, we're here this day. That's all well and good, but when you see that meat with the steam coming off and the sauces going in, and you know, it was a nightmare editing. I was hungry throughout, but it was
now. Just
yeah,
that's it. To the video.
Well, that's it, mate. And we did a you know, bearing in mind, you know, they're in the food business, we did a case study. I think it was 42 weeks after. Yeah. And it had delivered at that point, it delivered a 675% return on investment, I think. So they paid for their video, and then after that, it was a significant amount of money, and that's just because they've used video. You know, what they've got is a fantastic product, and they're targeting, you know, people like myself who love their food. there's nothing better than on your local Facebook page. We've all got a local Facebook page, right? So mine's like Alconbury Living. You go on there, and you're at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're about to finish work in the next couple of hours, and you're starting to get a bit peckish again after your lunch. And then all of a sudden, Picasso's pops up, and they've got a video of the sauce in slow motion dropping onto that smoked meat. It's just irresistible, and just it's making the video. But as you know, with your sales, it's about then placing that video at the right place at the right time to engage with the people that you want it to.
Nice. So I'm starving now. Actually, can we stop here so I can go get some? I'm joking. So why do you think customers are so warm to video? Why? Obviously, you're in a variety of industries there, and some are B2B and B2C in terms of who they're selling to. Why do you think people are so warm to video?
So it's easily consumable, isn't it? So a few things, you can't get over in, say, a blog or on a text post what you can in a video. It stimulates more senses. You're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're imagining it far more than what you would if you were simply reading it. I think also, like I said, it's 2023 and we're quite lazy nowadays. We don't read. I can talk for myself. I'm lazy. It's the TikTok generation, right? We'll scroll through, we'll see, and then when something catches our attention, we'll be drawn into it, and that's what video is so good at. You can, short form video. We're seeing the rise of TikTok. We're seeing Instagram Reels. We're seeing Facebook move more towards video. YouTube with their shorts are now going more towards short form content, and the reason for that is because people find it engaging. People like it. It's easy to consume without a lot of thought. And I'm sure everyone that's watching this is probably in agreement that life is busy enough. There's so much going on in life nowadays that actually just to sit there and not really think about things and, focus on something that's easy to consume is ideal.
Yeah, and let's go slightly off track of the questions for a second, because I know we spoke about YouTube Shorts and TikTok and such recently, and the rise in those short videos and business. What's your thoughts on that and getting people, if you're in selling a coaching service or you're selling, X product, whatever that product may be, what's your thoughts on getting into the likes of YouTube Shorts and TikToks and the likes?
So I think 2022 sort of that was the start of the rise of short form media. Okay, so YouTube is an interesting platform because YouTube is generally known for its long form media.
Yep.
So to give you an idea of how big YouTube is, it's now being consumed more than terrestrial TV. Okay, so people of my age and above won't really understand that. But if you've got young kids like I have, anyone from sort of 18 below, you will probably know that kids don't watch Netflix that much anymore. They might watch the odd Netflix. They definitely don't watch Channel 4 with the adverts or anything like that. They're watching YouTube most of the time. And that's kind of the way things have gone. But the problem with YouTube, the problem that they have is that they're, generally speaking, it's long form. So their videos are 6, 10, 12 minutes. And so you have to be quite engaged to watch something like that. So what we've seen with the rise of TikTok, which is the fastest growing social media, is that people just like that really quick hit, that quick hit of like a short video, not interested, next, not really a lot of thought. Oh, I like this, I'll watch this. That's only 90 seconds long. And then it's the next thing. So you got that constant satisfaction. Now, TikTok is Chinese, a Chinese platform. And there's almost like a social media civil war, which I think is fantastic, to be honest, mate, because what you've got is you've got TikTok up and coming, you've got Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, going, hang on a minute, you're not going to overtake us. We're going to start to push that stuff as well. So Reels have been going a while, and Reels and TikTok are very similar, but they're pushing the Reels, they're pushing video on Facebook now. You'll see it on your feeds. And you've now got YouTube, which is owned by Google, so a massive powerhouse in the social media world as well, going, hang on, we're not going to just sit back and let this happen. We're going to get involved. And that's where you've now got YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts are new to YouTube, and YouTube is favoring YouTube Shorts because YouTube knows that its creators don't like change. No one likes change. So it will almost reward you for creating shorts because it wants you to go that way, to get used to doing that, and then it probably will reward you a bit less. So it's also, YouTube has seen the way social media is going, and it's like, I want a piece of that. So that's good. And then there's always the thought, and God knows whether this is going to happen, but there's all the thing in the media about, you know, Chinese spying through TikTok. And you've got a question, is that a long-term platform for this country? Who knows? That's for the experts. But I think you'll find that the social media platforms, should that get banned, will want to jump on that straight away and take over that market. So in terms of business for us, we're getting a lot of clients now coming to us and saying, right, I want to create YouTube Shorts. And actually, the benefit of that, the brilliant thing for business, is that if you're creating YouTube Shorts, that's the same aspect ratio as TikTok's videos as Reels. So the good thing is, if you're having that made professionally, you're having content made to go over all the different platforms. And this is where actually the podcasting comes in very well, because I was talking to you earlier. We're going to be recording podcasts in the near future for one of our clients, where he's going to have the microphone coming over, and he's a coach, so he'll be talking into that, and we'll be recording that, putting some big funky subtitles on. You've probably seen these videos, and we'll be creating shorts from the podcast. So it's a great world to be in at the moment, because once we've created those videos, that essentially is for free platforms: YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok, and it can just be spread over all three platforms.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. I think it's a good world to be in. And, you know, social media leveled up the playing field, really, didn't it? Before social media, what if you either had enough money to run TV advertisement or you didn't, and most businesses didn't. So, you know, it's created a more level playing field, and it gives you the ability to niche and then really go out and attack your niche. And in my opinion, the best way of doing it is through video, because people will respond to it well. And the short form content is a great way to have people scrolling and to bring them in, and then to introduce them slowly to your longer form content where you can deliver more value.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And would you say there's more of a benefit over a product-based business versus a service-based, or 50-50 really in terms of split?
Yeah, not really. I think that it doesn't really matter what you do. I think you're going to have to build value with your target customer. I'd say your higher end products, you'll need to put in more effort to sell them because they're higher end. You know, if you're selling a £15 swimming pool for the kids in the summer, say, I don't even know why I've said that, but let's just say you've got, you know, the inflatable swimming pools, you're selling £15 off Amazon. Do you need to have a load of videos about your business? No, probably not. Just run some ads, get the ads perfected. You'll probably spend £6 or £7 finding a customer. If it costs you a couple of quid to make and ship, then happy days, you're in, quid's in. But most businesses aren't that. So if you're selling any products that are a bit more money, a bit more of an investment for people, where people are going to have a bit more of a think about it before they start dipping into their pockets, then video is a great way to build them in, to show the value, to show what your company's about, your vision, your morals, everything, and to build a relationship with that customer, which ultimately is going to help you make sales.
No like and trust element.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, we say it so much, don't we? But yeah, and you know, it's true. I think about the major purchases that I've bought. You know, I'm at the moment, I'm in the market for a car.
Yeah.
And you know, cars are a massive purchase, especially at the moment since lockdown, blimey. I've been looking. I know that I need a car. Well, I don't need it. I know that I want a car. I know that I'm going to buy one. But I've been spending hours every week, hours upon hours, just looking through, waiting for the perfect one, understanding what I want, and that's what that's all about. And you know, I'm finding myself drawn to Kazoo quite a lot. Hope that doesn't upset anyone in the sort of car sales industry. But you know, that's because their platform's just great. I've seen their ads and it's working. They're building that know, like, and trust. I keep seeing their showrooms pop up on my feeds and they look really good. And I keep seeing their validation, like all their 5-star reviews are hitting me hard, and I know that's the algorithms off social media working. Now, I'm not saying I'm definitely going to go down the kazoo route, because that's definitely not the case, but it works.
Well, yeah, you can get it dropped to your door, sign your finance online if you need it.
Yeah,
It's a very convenient platform, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can hand the car back within a week. I think they've been making that very clear. Well, if you're not happy, just hand it back, and it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that, mate. There's still the part of my brain going, you don't need a new car. What are you going to spend all that money on that for? But yeah, it's
it's a desire to change.
Yeah, and all that content's done, and video content is fantastic. It's a great way of drawing people in, and it's a great way of delivering value, but it's not the only way. Like there is still a place for the other forms of media as well. Like the podcast is fantastic if you're really niched and you've got a following, and you're a coach, that sort of business where you're delivering the value, and the value is about you. That I would definitely recommend podcasts. We do that. But the video, again, is very good. Similar. Yeah. I think I think the problem is, as we move into the digital age and we have to sort of modernize, which we do, sometimes we forget that the old forms of media are very good as well. Like I still recommend brochures, things like that, and to be honest to you, I hate digital brochures.
I still recommend the phone.
yeah. Definitely. Phone calls, mate. Yeah, if you've managed to get customers' details, then phone calls. Yeah. But to get that, to draw them in, I think video works well. Yeah.
It warms that topic up for them.
100%.
And I guess you get that engagement early doors that you'd say, there's an interest there. There's a reason they're looking at that video. They've perhaps liked it or whatever they've done with it.
Yeah, so a company that we work quite closely with, one of our clients actually, put this in a fantastic way. So like, let's say, for example, you had a wedding venue. Okay, your business is a wedding venue. I'm married. I think you are, Jamie, and I remember when we started looking at venues and stuff, it was like it was painful, to be honest, but it was also quite fun. It was quite an exciting time. But you go around to venues and you're having a look. So let's say you're going to start targeting. So you start running some ads. Okay. If you've got a photo, that's going to be okay. You're going to see what's on that photo. But with video, you can show so much more about what you offer. What you would still do with marketing is you'd split test it. So you would say, right, let's run a couple of videos in our ads, let's run a couple of photos, and then let's see what works. What works you do more of, and that's just the way marketing tends to work when you're running ads. You then, once you've got them in and they've clicked that link, that's where the sales process becomes quite important, and you can again continue to use video through that process. So now you might be using video to say, right, I don't know, let's say you got a floor plan on the website and you can click on each room and it shows you the video of each room so you get a good look around, whatever it can be. But the sales process needs to continue, as you know, and what, my client puts it that when they looked at that process, what they were doing is they were sending digital brochures and you could just go on the website and download it once you click through. But actually, what they realized is that as a sales thing, and you'll be better at this, wasn't good enough. So I'm rambling my words now, but essentially what they did is that they changed it. They said, right, when you click onto the landing page from the ad, you'll have a video. So you'll see the drone going over the site. You'll see that really nice promotional video. And then you will fill out your details and they'll send you a proper brochure now. Because with the digital brochures, you download them and then God knows what happens to them, right? That's just,
you download 20 times and you find them about 6 years later.
That's it. You go to the toilet, you come back, you pick up your phone. Oh, God knows where that brochure is.
Yeah.
With a manual brochure, right, it takes a couple of days to get there, but let's be honest, the likelihood of them picking a venue in that couple of days is quite small. The brochure goes through the door, they'll put it down because at the time they're busy, but then in the evening they might sit down on TV and go, oh, let's have a look at that brochure, have a look through. The good thing is to send that brochure, you've got to get their contact details, and that's where the whole process works well. So you then following up a couple of days later with a call, why don't you come in, have a look, come taste some food or whatever, come and have a look at the venue. We'll put on a whole thing for you, introduce you to the team, and that's that's the that's the sales process, and that's the golden standard that ends up getting you those 20 grand sales. But the video is kind of the beginning of that. So it's just where the video comes in so well is it draws people in so well. And where I find that a lot of people go wrong is that they might think, well, I'm going to run a video ad and that's going to convert loads of sales. Well, look, with a £20,000 purchase, that's not realistic. You're not going to run an ad on Facebook and make £20,000 sales.
Yeah, having conversations.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have the conversations, but you need to have a whole sales funnel, probably with video throughout it, to deliver a huge amount of value, to understand that you're probably going to lose people in that funnel, and then you improve it, maybe add a few more videos. You might, if you're selling a product like that, you will want videos of customer testimonials. You're going to want videos of your products. You're going to want all sorts of videos at the very beginning to feed people into that funnel. So yeah,
Awesome.
I think I've gone on enough about video already.
Well, to be fair, I mean, the next question I'm going to ask you is around the aspects of the sales journey and the way you get involved in, and my personal experience of video in various industries is I've seen it used at the start. So when I worked in car sales, you'd maybe do it as like your Auto Trader ad almost. Then they'd have see it now videos, which is distance buyer might ring up and say, I want to look at this car, and you go and do a video. But then in more recent times, we've seen video being used as follow-up techniques where perhaps the lead's got a bit cold, or you're struggling for some reason.
Yeah.
From your point of view, do you see that? Do you see that kind of the benefits of using video for follow-ups and customer reviews as well as the initial sort of bringing them into the business?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so videos can be used for all parts. So like you said, from the original ad, feeding them into the business, through to delivering the value, showing validation, through to customer retention. And the companies that we work with that do this stuff tend to be the ones scaling the quickest. That we work for a digital marketing firm. We're building up their YouTube channel, and when you're jumping onto sales calls, which is what our client is doing, and he's got customers saying, oh, I feel like I know you already, I've seen so many of your videos. That's a massive win, because they're already seeing the value in what he does. The fact that they're on that call, and it's the same in our podcast clients, if you like, is that when you're jumping on sales calls and you're saying, I feel like I know you, like, I love your podcast, you've won that battle. You're highly likely to make that sale because you've delivered the value. Now, our clients that are doing the best, they have, they run ads, they be video ads, they be all different types of ads. Like I said, you really want to split test what you're doing, try different things, and do more of what works and go through that process. But yeah, we make their biggest customer successes are all videoed. We will get those reviews on video. They'll no doubt do their review on Google as well. That reviews are important because people will stalk you before you buy. But generally speaking, getting it on video and putting it in your funnel is fantastic. Yeah. So let's go back to the car fap sales thing, like what we were saying with Kazoo. It's all well and good. You've got to have the right car in, or no one's going to buy it, of course, and that's just a given. But most companies that sell cars will have a number of stock, and everyone has a different idea of what car is perfect. But yeah, like with Kazoo, like you were just saying, well, actually, show me a video of you delivering the car to my door. Show me a video that explains to me that if I don't like the car in 7 days, that I can just hand it back. Because all of this is just making me think, oh, actually, this is all right. If I don't like that car, I can just send it back. So that then negates the problem in my head of, well, I don't really want to travel 100 miles to go and test drive this car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, videos are a great way, and you got to remember as well, most businesses will have repeat customers. So even once you've made the sale, the occasional video, like if I had a car, let's say I bought a BMW, and then a year later, they sent me, even if an email or a video that says, hi, your car's due for service. Things to consider when your BMW is a year old, the tire pressure tire tread or whatever it is, just staying in their minds, I think, is a really good strategy, because it shows that you kind of care. It keeps your brand in their mind, and yeah, I just think it's a good idea.
So extremely impactful.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And not everything needs to be video, but I think to have videos through that is good. And regular content is important as well. Google likes regular content. It likes content to be upgraded a lot, so you'll find that will help you with your search engine optimization as well.
There you go, Darren. Not just video, but he's got some SEO knowledge too.
Well, we work with a digital marketing client, and I have to admit, it's become one of the most valuable things. Like, I'll record a video with him, I don't know, about backlinks or something like that, and he'll be explaining ways to boost your SEO, and I'll come home, I'll be editing his video whilst doing my own backlinks into my website and stuff. So
it's brilliant.
It's going well.
Fair enough. Do you use business? Do you use video in your own business? Do you when you're promoting Motion to Profit and the podcasting side of the business?
Yeah, so we've been going a couple of years now, and I suppose it's like that. It's that thing, isn't it? Like a decorator's house is the last one to get decorated, and what we're doing this year is we've said, look, well, I've said, right, what we're doing for clients, we're not very good at doing ourselves. So 2023 is going to be the year that we get out and really start pushing our marketing, and we're currently taking on some staff, which will give us the time to then push our own marketing, which is something that we're very much going to be doing. We're going to be doing that in short form and in long form video. I think it's important for a video marketing agency definitely to start producing video 100%. Yeah, so it's something that it's easy. I totally understand that when you run a business, and we're the same, you're so busy servicing clients that your stuff goes out the window.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that the vast majority of our work comes through referral, through recommendations, through customers we've worked with, passing our details on, and occasionally through networking. But actually, to scale, we really need to get onto our own marketing. So 2023, mate, that's what we're going to do.
Awesome.
We've just hired a photographer, and because we want to move into sort of stills as well.
Yeah.
And I was just saying to him today, arranging for him to come over and for us to make some video content for our website and for our social media, to explain taking him on, what he's going to do, and showcasing some of his work, essentially showing our clients what he can do for them. So yeah, should be good.
Nice. What would you say is the best sort of results you've got for clients? What's if somebody said, I'm going to hire Darren today, bring you into the business, what kind of results do you see? I know obviously the digital marketing company is clearly doing very well from what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know you've done some work with estate agents as well.
Yeah, we've done some work with estate agents. It's yeah.
Obviously, the property market's up and down at the minute, isn't it? With the world.
Yeah, obviously the interest rates have gone through the roof, and that's slowed down. And to be fair, I think the estate agency world is probably a bit worried about that, and understandably, they're probably trying to cut back on their costs. But it will come back. Interest rates will eventually go down when this crisis is averted. No doubt there'll be another one at some point. But yeah. So I suppose what the feedback we always try and deliver a return on our investment. So I was on a sales call the other day, and the business owner was saying to me, all right, I want you to run a Facebook ad. Our product is about 300 quid, and we want that ad to sell that product. And I had quite an honest chat, and I said, look, 300 quid, you're moving into that area of a bit of a sales journey. I'm not a digital marketer, that's not what we do, but I kind of recommend having a think about the sales journey you're going to take that customer on. You're probably going to have to build that little bit more trust to make that sale. So have a think about that, and then let us know. So I don't want to just say she could say, funny enough, during this call she said, oh, we've had a video made before, it was really good, but it didn't really make any sales. And that's because if you're trying to sell a bit more of a £300 product, when do you ever go online, watch a 2-minute video and go, right, I'm going to spend £300 on that?
Yeah.
it will happen, and it might well happen. It might well deliver a return, but generally speaking, for most people, you're going to have to work a bit harder, and that's kind of the thing. So that might be actually let's create a video for the ad, and then let's create another video for the landing page, get your copy on there, and that's where you might want to be putting some reviews on there, building some validation, showing the results you've had, showing how your product works, showing how it bridges that gap. So I think my favorite clients, we're always honest with clients. We'll never just try and take work. But the feedback that I love is when you get a return on investment. So it's really hard to properly engage a return on investment in being perfectly honest. It's always really hard to accurately record what a return on investment is, but we know that we generally do it for clients. So let's say they spend X amount of money on a video, and then they run that ad and they make X amount of sales, but it's hard to know how many of them would have been made if it wasn't video. So we very rarely will release the information, but for myself, we like to know that. With the food van I was talking about at the beginning of this conversation, that was a bit easier because actually they'd been working one way for a long period of time. The only thing they then changed was the ad, and then for the next 42 weeks, I think it was, the only thing they'd really changed was the way they go about it. So they'd created a video, and then they changed the way they dealt with it. So if they were going into an area, they'd post onto the local Facebook group, and they'd put the video pinned at the top of their Facebook page. Right. So that was the plan. So you would essentially say Picasso's are coming into the area. We'll be there 5 till 8 on a Friday night. You'd link in Picasso's. As soon as you click on that link, the first thing you'd see is a video of the product that they do.
The meat.
Yeah. So we knew.
I remember the meat. That's all I've got in my head.
Yeah, that's it. So the only thing that changed with them was the video. And that delivered them a significant return on investment. One of my biggest wins, I think, is when you get clients, and we've had this with quite a few clients, who are saying, I had a sales call, and they love the videos, and especially when you're selling the higher end products as well, because the video has done what it's supposed to do, which is build trust with people. And I quite often get business owners that get quite upset because it doesn't get many likes or shares or comments and stuff like that. But actually, do you know what? People are watching more than you realize. And when you start to get that feedback in sales calls, that the assets you've created and the assets we've set up along that funnel are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that is a really good feeling.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Well, so if you're new to business, I think I know the answer to this one, but if you're new to business, would you hire a professional straight off the bat, or do you do it yourself? Do you go it alone to begin with, or does that depend on, how much you want to spend and what you're trying to sell, I guess?
Yeah, no. When you're new to business, it's really hard. There's only so much money most of the time, and you want it to go as far as possible. The mobile phones are fantastic. Not everything needs to be polished. I think it very much depends on what you're trying to achieve. So, if you're just creating content and you're trying to get your new business out there, that you need to get onto social media, start sharing around, start posting into groups, whatever it's going to be. You want to create some video, but actually, do you know what? The most important thing with any content is the message. So, nowadays you can use, like, my iPhone shoots in 4K. It's a pretty decent shot. And it's probably enough for most new businesses, to be honest. You can get we actually do have clients where we just do editing. So we will do that. We will take their raw footage taken by them. I think I was telling you about this earlier, Jamie. We work with a cancer charity. We work for them, I'll be honest, a lot cheaper than what we normally would with clients, because I've got a lot of time for cancer charity. But essentially what they do is they're based in the United States, so they basically record the content on the phone, and they know how to do that. We're happy with that. It's not great, it's not polished, but it's enough. It's good enough to watch.
Yeah.
And we just add a few effects. We'll add some subtitles if we have to, and we'll just sort of make those videos slightly more professional for low cost. So, things like that are a great way of starting, or just getting onto it yourself.
Yeah.
Problem is, you can almost spend so much time marketing, and not enough time doing stuff. So sometimes it's better just getting onto Fiverr, shooting some videos.
Send it.
For example, you could get a selfie stick. You could you could go out in the summer and you could walk for half an hour with your dog and take a load of shorts for YouTube.
Yeah.
You could send them out to an editor on Fiverr, probably for 20-30 quid, and have them come back as sort of ready to post videos. So yeah, when you're new to business, I'd start that. And as you grow, as you start making sales, then obviously you can then start professionalizing your content, making it look a bit better, having a bit more strategy behind it as well, and scale from there.
Awesome. And so that's a massive insight you've given us there to the world of video and how that would help the sales journey, and some of the impacts. What's new for you for 2023? Obviously, podcast creator, podcast extraordinaire. I know you've had some good results with a mutual friend, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, he's fantastic. So 2023. So the first thing actually is that we are currently recruiting. So we've taken on a videographer, we've taken on a photographer, and we've taken on an editor. So we're growing. And I was saying to you this morning that we're at that weird stage where we want to upgrade what we do. I think it's always good to be self-critical to a certain point. We're always looking at ways in which we can improve outcomes for our clients. So we want to upgrade our equipment as well, but that is a huge cost to the business, because cameras are expensive, especially the cameras that we're looking to upgrade to. But like I said to you, mate, we need to produce more of our own content as well, and that's going to help us scale. So we need to now start practicing what we preach. I've started blogging as well, which has massive SEO benefits. Started blogging. We're going to start creating a lot more video content. Now we're bringing in those skills around us and started bringing in people to help with the business. That frees up some time to start producing some of our own content, probably February, March time, which is great. And then just because I'm not busy enough, I've also created a podcast creator. So look, with podcasts, what we find is, like any form of marketing, people have a great idea. So how many business owners go, right, I'm going to launch a podcast and I'm going to do it this year, and I'm going to launch an episode every week, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to build this up, and with all these fantastic ideas, and then they get 3 weeks in and they're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. So with podcasting clients now, we tend to try and either get people to commit a bit longer term, because consistency is key. With any marketing, you've got to be consistent. Or we help them build a podcast, and then when they get to the point of monetizing it, we will then come in and professionalize it. So, for example, let's say you launch a podcast. You start off, you launch it, we'll help you, we'll advise you, we'll do that. And then when you get to 20,000 downloads and you've got 300 or 400 regular subscribers that download in every episode you release, at that point we'll say to you, right, Jamie, this is how you monetize it. And then from monetizing it, getting a bit of sponsorship, you'll then generally use that monetizing cost to pay us to come in and do it. So it's worked really well for Bill, our mutual friend, because without going into the specifics, I definitely don't want to upset him. He's basically monetized his podcast to pay for itself, so it pays for our costs, but it's a lead magnet for his business. Right. So essentially, his sponsorship covers the costs of his lead magnet. It's a fantastic business model. And in sales calls, he's getting clients saying, oh, I've listened to your podcast, I love it, it's fantastic, I've been learning so much from it. And as a business mentor, that's what you need. You need to build that trust.
You want people coming to you that are saying, you're the man or you're the lady because I've heard you, I know what you can do.
Yeah. I've heard 6 hours worth of you telling me how I should improve my business. I've implemented some of it and I've seen some fantastic results from it. What the hell could I achieve from your training? That's what we want them to think, and that's what happens. Um, yeah. So going back to your original question, we've sort of said, well, actually, look, brand new podcasters, it's a tricky field. We get a lot of clients come in with great ideas. We spend a lot of time setting up the podcast, and then a few weeks later they lose interest. Now, that's all well and good for us because, to be honest, we asked for a 10 podcast commitment, so
Yeah.
we'll charge the first 10 episodes. So you could almost argue, well, for us as a business, that's ideal, because if you commit to 10 and you only do 3 and then we never hear from you again, then great. But that's awful. That really bugs me. I don't like that, because we don't want people to give up. What we want people to do is to really focus on this, to be consistent and grow their podcast. So what we've decided to do is to move away from that a little bit, and then to start delivering some training on how to deliver your own podcast. And that's where the podcast creator comes in.
Yeah.
What myself and Kelly Wynn, who is the Beagle Lady, are going to do is we're going to launch her podcast, the Beagle Lady podcast, in the near future, but we're recording that whole process. So we're going to show people how to do it themselves. Like I said, with the idea then is that people can build up their own podcast, they can have full control over it. And if they want to use us in the future to make it that little bit more professional, to get some, advice on how to monetize it, and great, then great, of course we'll be there. But actually, to get it up and running and to do it yourself is great. And actually that commitment for price on for us recording this course and showing you how to do it will be far less than what we would be paying for the 10 episodes, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think it works out better for all round. That's not to say we wouldn't take on new clients who are just starting out to podcast. It's just that I think this is better. But then it won't be better for everyone. Some people will be like, no, I want you to, and again, that's fine.
Much better for you. Much preferred.
Yeah, that's it. You got to work with people, haven't you, and what's best for them, I think. And we try and do that, but there's nothing worse than when something fails. And we've never seen that on the video side. We've always had really happy clients. Like like our reviews on Google are really good. When clients put them on there, we're really successful with that. But with podcast, consistency is important, and it is a bit of a time commitment. So what we don't want are people doing a few episodes, not seeing instant benefits, which is massively unrealistic, and then stopping. So yeah,
it's the same as building up, like a trust, isn't it? You're never going to get it overnight if you're an unknown in the market.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, and this is where I think this is as a business owner, it's really tough because you're so busy all the time, and I understand that, but you have to be consistent. And I often say to clients, don't like start the new year. So we're in January now when we're recording this, right? Don't start the new year with this fantastic New Year's resolution. I'm going to spend 3 days a week creating content, and I'm going to push it out there, and I'm going to work till 11 o'clock every evening after I finished working with my clients to produce all this content. That's ridiculous. No one's going to be able to maintain that forever. Much better to say, right, my business is important. I need to bring in the money and pay the bills. I'm going to work 4 days a week, and then on the Friday I'm going to have half a day maybe where I produce content. And this is again where the podcast creator course is going to come in so handy, because what we're going to show you to do is not only spend time to produce content, but then how to take that content and spread it over as many platforms as possible. Right. So if you're recording a podcast, why not get that snippets of that out over all forms of social media? Because I can tell you now, if you were recording a podcast, record it on video with a decent mic, create it in a podcast and get it over all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, etc., Google, and all the rest of them. But then because you got it on video, you can now snip that up. You can put the long video onto YouTube as a main YouTube video. You can create YouTube shorts from all the snippets of value from that video. And again, if you've not got the money, you can either outsource that to someone like us, or you can get on Fiverr and find someone to do it cheaper. You can do that. You can maximize the content cheaply and keep pushing it out there. And actually, by repurposing content, what you're doing is you're freeing up the time to service clients and make more money. So, let's say for yourself, Jamie, like you said, right, Friday afternoon, I'm going to spend between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. before I finish work and spend the time with my family. And I'm going to record 2 podcasts for the next week to release. And then I'm going to send those videos over to my editor in India for 30 quid, who's going to snip them all up and make them into shorts. And he will also make me the video for, I think so, maybe 40, 50 quid or whatever that costs. And then I'm going to schedule them in for the whole week on Monday morning which is going to take me an hour. And it's just about being smart, and that's what we want to try and show people how to do with Podcast Creator as well. Is not just how to launch a podcast, but how to be clever with it, and to make sure that you're using that podcast to hit as many platforms as you can. Which won't be for everyone, but Podcast Creator is aimed more at coaches, to be honest, in the coaching sector. Because they're selling their knowledge, their skills, they're
packaged up there what they know.
And that's where a podcast is so good. Like I don't, even as a podcast creator, even as a video marketer, I don't do a podcast about that stuff, because, to be quite honest, mate, do you really want to listen to the power of video on a podcast consistently every week? Because I don't. In that field, do you know what I mean? Like, the podcasts I listen to are business coaches, they're maybe life coaches, motivational speakers. I enjoy that stuff because you get things from it, but I don't listen to anyone that's going to tell me why a Canon camera is better than a Nikon camera. God, I'm not that sad, and I don't think many people are.
Fair enough, mate. At least it's honest. Honesty, I love.
But this is it. But in coaching, I think we like to consume information, don't we? And if it's easy, so if you're driving a car for 3 hours and you can listen to a couple, 3 or 4, 5 podcasts in that time, then great. And I don't know about you, mate, but I certainly find myself doing that more nowadays. I listen to podcasts while I'm cooking, while I'm driving, walking the dog. Who, if you can hear snoring, by the way, it's literally snoring next to me.
Well, my cooking's just eat, mate, so it only takes 2 minutes.
Yeah, don't have takeaways. No,
there isn't a podcast that short.
No. Well, we were doing like Hello Fresh, so that's ideal, because that takes about 16 hours just to cook a meal. I swear, let's grate the ginger, and I think, crikey, what have I signed up to here? But what I would say is, it's actually quite nice. You can put a podcast on the Alexa, you can listen and actually cook, and it's quite therapeutic. I find. But it's the good thing with podcasts is it's a great way to consume information while you're busy. So whilst you're driving, and I used to listen to the news quite a lot, and I think a lot of people probably agree with this. You used to listen to news, and what I find is that every single time you listen, there's a disaster, and it's negative and negative and negative. And in the end, I think most people, and this is probably why podcasts are growing, to be honest, is because most people are like, screw this, I'm going to listen to a podcast, learn something, get something positive from it. If that's mentoring, or even just a bloody laugh because you're listening to a comedian on a podcast. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got more control over it. So that's kind of.
You can at least listen to something you're interested in rather than the doom and gloom of the world.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, it's so bad out there at the moment, isn't it? And I don't in real life, I don't see any of it happening, to be honest. Like, people are worried, but.
If we sidetrack slightly for a second, I suppose there are certain industries that will be worse affected than others. The hospitality industry is already feeling it a little bit. I know some of the local cafes by me have closed, but other industries are still thriving. The market's not completely gone; it's just changed in how people buy.
Yeah.
Perhaps and this may bring it back to video a little bit, is what maybe was a 1 or 2 sales cycle call is now a 3 or 4 sales cycle call, and people are just a little bit more cautious with spending the money. That said, we're in an economic change, and you're still car hunting. People still need these things to continue with their life. Life doesn't completely go on hold because the newspaper has said doom and gloom's coming.
Yeah, and this is what it comes down to. And I don't want to be one of these people who is like doom and gloom marketing. But if if you're finding sales are harder, then you need to look at your funnel and you need to improve your sales technique. And I hate to say it, that's where video again comes in so well. And maybe that's why we're not seeing it, to be honest, mate. Maybe that's because we've got a lot of business owners who recognize that and are perhaps coming to us, which is helping. But yeah, I suppose with every recession will come opportunity at the end, and we will come out of it. But then I think, I do listen to the news, don't get me wrong. I watch the news every day, but I probably used to spend hours listening to, a talk show or something like that talks about politics. And I just don't think that's healthy, to be honest. It's good to know what's going on. We remortgaged at the right time because we know what's going on. But I just think you can almost like push yourself into some sort of like, downer because you're just constantly being told that the world's in a really bad state and stuff. And you've got to focus on yourself.
Yeah, you focus on yourself, focus on your business. This is where people diversify. They start looking at other ways of doing their business.
Yeah.
If you've got high overheads, you might look at lowering those. So it's. I agree with you, mate. There's no point listening to the news. It's all doom, gloom, and nothing positive really comes out of it, to be honest.
No. But we digress.
But yeah, no, mate. Listen, I really appreciate your time. I know we've gone later than we planned, so and that's because we were chatting before this. We turned this on to record. But if anybody wants to reach out to you, if anybody's looking for advice, or they're looking for a video editor, or looking for advice on or podcast creations, how do they reach out to you? What's the best way to get in touch?
Probably just for our website, which is motion2profit.com, and that's TO, not the number 2. But yeah, motion2profit.com. We're always happy to speak through any video podcasting with any client. Doesn't even have to use us as a service. We quite like to offer advice if we can. So yeah, just reach out, and if we're a good fit, we'll work. And if we're not, then hopefully we can give some good advice.
Awesome. I really appreciate your time, mate. I want to just, thanks again for taking your time out your night to do this. It's massively appreciated.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for having us on. And yeah, you'll have to return the favour and come into our community and have a chat with us as well.
Absolutely, mate. No dramas. Anytime, as I say. So guys, as you know, my name's Jamie from Building Profits, making sales simple, having conversations that close, that work with your human buyers and behaviours. If you want to reach out to me, my name's Jamie at buildingprofits.co.uk, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks very much for watching. He says.